Think about it. You are in business to make money. How much do you want to make? How are you going to make that much money? If you don't know the value of your time, and you have to take account for your time, and how many widgets of A, B, C, or D, if you're selling a bunch of different services and products, and that's something else we can get into, that you need to meet your revenue goals, you're starting behind an 8-ball, buddy. Sorry, you just are. I learned that the hard way when starting my business, V2M2 Group. I didn't do it to devalue myself, but I wanted to help small businesses, and I still do. I just had to come up with a different pricing model for small businesses. But what happens is you reach capacity, and then quality can take a big dive, and you become resentful. I'm helping them, man. I'm helping them. They're making all this money, and they're only paying me. No, that'll happen. It happens. So do not differentiate based on price. Differentiate based on what you really feel you are adding to the marketplace. Okay? So figure that out. I mean, and it'll evolve. It will evolve. I'll give you an example how we evolved. I wanted to be a jack of all trades. I felt, hey, I could build a website. I've been building them since the 90s. I'm pretty good with social media. I did a fairly good job with my clients on SEO. Got them the first page of Google. What else? Hey, I love to make connections. Is that influencer marketing? Advocacy marketing? It wasn't until someone sat me down and said, hey, Frank. And by the way, this gentleman that sat down with me made the Inc. 5000. So his company has had quarter after quarter growth since he started 5 years ago. So the CEO sat me down and said, Frank. Nobody wants a generalist. You don't go to a generalist to operate on your heart, right? You don't go to a generalist if you busted up your knee and you need an operation. No, you go to a specialist. So he said, nobody wants a generalist. They want a specialist. So think of this. How much do you want to make? What are you really good at? And what do you enjoy doing? That advice changed my company and my life forever. Forever. So, what do I really like doing? I love social media. I like SEO. I like it. I really do. But I really like social media and connecting with people. Connecting with people. I'm pretty well connected, and my connections can probably form other strategic connections. So that became our focus. We don't like to call it influencer marketing because it's not based off our popularity. We call it advocacy marketing because as an advocate, we can influence others. So we can influence a decision maker in a major corporation to possibly partner with somebody else. And that's not going to be based off how many followers I have. It's how intelligent can I speak to them? How can I address their needs? Okay, how can I answer their questions? How can I help make them profitable? Okay, so that's what we focused on. That became our mantra. And we came up with the tagline, social media evolved. Evolved. And we're going to get into that because I am going to help you through this podcast, show you how you can literally use social media and connect with some of the top brands and top thought leaders in the world. And also how to connect with those people that may be actually interested in your products. Okay? This is not going to be a feel-good show. There's a lot of stuff out there that says, hey, this is how you get more followers. Hey, this is how you use the new Instagram and filters and the new geo filters and all the Snapchat filters. No, this is not that. Okay? I'm going to teach you how to get measurable results. So, second question, how much do you want to make in your business? What is your capacity? If you want to make, let's throw a number out there, $300K. Let's take out operational costs, the cost of running your business, okay? So let's say it costs you, $4K a month to run your business. Take out maybe 7.5% of what's that, Medicare, all those taxes. Account for the taxes and get somebody to do your taxes, okay? Get somebody to do your business taxes, especially if you bump up to a corporation, LLC, something like that. Even if it's a sole prop, it's a good idea. But, figure in the tax. You want to make 300, and let's say, you know what, my taxes and operation cost, all that stuff taken out, that's going to bump me down to 250. Maybe I need to make about 350 so I can make the 300. Figure that out, okay? So let's say it comes out to 300 after all operational costs are out there, okay? Taxes, all that other type of stuff. And you say, okay, so how many clients can I handle? Now, don't go hire happy and figure I want to hire everybody or I can outsource. I've heard some outsourcing horror stories out there. Horror stories. So, but that's another topic for another day. So, okay, so how many people can I handle? Based on what I handle and what I sell, how much do I need to charge? How many times am I going to be marketing myself? What's that going to cost in time? Because you might not think of it this way, but every time you jump in your car and you're going out to a networking function, that's time. That's time away from marketing. That's time away from working on your client's stuff. Okay? That's time away from putting together a proposal. That's time away from you even marketing yourself. Don't ever forget to market yourself. Don't. You have to keep the pipeline full. So you have to figure out, how much is my time worth? Am I worth $250 an hour? Am I that damn good that I'm $250 an hour? Okay? Or do I need to make $250 an hour? Do I need to charge? What do we do that takes up the most amount of time and has the smallest payback? What takes the least amount of time and can generate the largest revenue? For us, that's websites. Done deal, websites. Flat cost. Flat cost website for us. And we know how to do it. Could do it pretty doggone good. And there's no management involved. So for us, that's low-hanging fruit. Managing an entire digital marketing strategy is time consuming because it takes into account all the different elements. So knowing how much time it's going to take us to do that, you can figure out how much would we charge. How much do we need to charge? How many clients can we handle at a max without having to expand our resources? Because now you're talking about more operational costs. Okay? So what is our limit? So let's say you have six clients. You need to make $25K a month. Is that 6 clients? $25K a month? 1, 2, 3. To make $300,000? I can't. Man, I just had a brain fart. Anyway, so let's figure out, hey, I need to make $25K a month. I want to make $25K a month. All right? X costs me this. This project costs that. This thing costs that. I'm up to 6 clients. That's all I can handle. This is how I figure out what my cost is. Okay, so you need to figure out and ask yourself, what is my capacity and how am I going to reach my revenue goals based on the products and the pricing that I have, or the services and the pricing? Because what happens is when we usually identify the low-hanging fruit, how can we make the most money for this business utilizing digital marketing and social media to keep them sustainable so now they can focus on a lot of these other avenues, which I like to kind of call the gravy. Okay? In an online community, a lot of the gravy happens to be recurring revenue, which can come in the form of things like affiliate marketing because you believe in a software. If you see my website, I have affiliates on my blog because I believe in their software. And I'm like, hey, if I'm selling it for you, hey, I'm an affiliate. I want to be paid for that. So it could be in the form of a normal webinar or something like that. It could be advertising through podcasts. Okay? So in the online community, that can be recurring revenue. So when we identify the low-hanging fruit, the least amount of work to bring in the most revenue so they can have a decent cash flow, then we can focus on everything else. Because once you identify that and you attach that to your value proposition, your differentiating factor. It will drive your messaging. And if you know all of those, you can identify the target market to send that messaging through with social media. That way, you're not just throwing a lot of spaghetti against the wall. You know who you want to speak to, about what, and what you want to say, and it's all in line with your company culture and your vision. Okay? So you need to figure that out. That's the number one thing. I got to be on Facebook. I got to get on Pinterest. Oh, Lord, Instagram and Snapchat's the next big thing. I better start snapping away. No. Don't do that. Don't do that. I did that. I especially did that. Now, I was very much into Twitter. I love Twitter. You know, a lot of the younger generations, Twitter's on its way out. But I'm telling you what, that's where the big dogs hang out, Twitter and LinkedIn. That's where the big dogs, decision makers, hang out. Hands down. All right, I don't see the CEO of J&J snapping away on his Snapchat and all and Instagram. And if he is, he got somebody doing it for him. But, you know, when he's looking at some quick stuff, it's be Twitter. Matter of fact, if you look at a lot of statistics, you'll see what about 83% of the most major brands or CEOs are on Twitter. So anyway, so that was my goal, Twitter. But when I started to see how Instagram was really picking up, I was like, man, let me jump on Instagram. So I just started snapping some pictures away. And initially, a lot of my pictures were of me going downtown Chicago to an event. It's called the Bunker Labs. They're an incubator for veteran-owned businesses. And I was going down there to learn from people smarter than me on how to run my business and to kind of brainstorm. It's like a mastermind group. Bunker Labs, check it out. If you're a veteran, you need to check it out. Bunker Labs, okay? bunkerlabs.org. So I would snap pictures of me getting up in the morning, walking by the train, sitting on the train, getting down in downtown Chicago, walking to the merchandise mart, looking at the Chicago River. And I actually did a what's it called? Periscope. And man, people loved it. But I got away from that. I was trying to really find out what was going to stick. What was going to be the purpose for my Instagram. And I decided that for my Instagram, it was going to be a behind the scenes look at me personally. Because I like to think I'm a real guy. I like to think I'm pretty down to earth. A lot of people think I'm much more serious than I actually am. But I'm pretty laid back. But I'm very passionate. And I wanted people to see that. I'm very much about family. So I wanted people to feel as if they could connect with me. Is that going to help me as far as my company brand goes? Maybe. If anything, it'll help me to connect with some people that could possibly either one need my help or may just dig in deeper, find me and say, hey, you know what, Frank? We'd like to connect with you. We're doing a speaking engagement, something like that. So I really don't know, but I'm using Instagram right now for my behind-the-scenes look into my personal life. Snapchat, I haven't really gotten into yet because I really have to figure out how I want to use that. So, hey, chime in. If you're a Snapchat expert out there, hey, I'd be more than happy to have you on the show and to interview you. Like I said, I'm an open book. I am not the expert. I am open to learning every day. So that's that. This is the episode 2. How do I get started? I think you need to take another week until the next episode that we have and figure out, hey, what is my value prop? What is my differentiating factor? What do I want to make? How much can I handle? Okay? And what is going to be that service or product that is going to help me get there, get my feet off the ground, be sustainable? Because now we can talk about your messaging and all of that. And we'll eventually get into a lot of the tools and things like that. So anyway, you know, I hope that you really got a lot out of this podcast. I'm really having a lot of fun doing it. It's much easier than looking at myself on a video screen and seeing a bunch of people dropping off. So I can just yap, 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 yap